Thank you very much. So Ecosia is a search engine. It basically works like Google. You type in your search terms, and when you hit the search button, then we show you search results. Like Google, we also display advertisements right next to the search results. And when you click on one of these ads, then we make money. The big difference, though, is that we use that money to finance tree planting projects around the world. And this is how we've planted already over 60 million trees so far, which I think is pretty awesome. So we're planting trees in areas where they're most needed, like here in Burkina Faso, for example, where we're turning basically completely degraded land back into a healthy forest. And we're doing that because the people who live there can then make an income again. They have healthy soil again where they can grow their own food, and eventually they can even send their kids to school and have good access to water. So there are a lot of local benefits. But in addition to that, of course, trees are really, really good at absorbing CO2 from the atmosphere. In fact, trees are probably the most cost-effective and also the most scalable way to get CO2 out of the atmosphere. And the potential is really huge. Here on this map you see in the green areas, these are these areas where trees can and should be planted. We have room for over 1 trillion trees, so 1,000 billion trees on our planet. And if we plant these, then we not only solve climate change, but we probably also solve hunger and poverty. So we should all do that. And I could probably end the presentation here, and then, yeah, if we did that, then I would already be happy. But we're here at a startup conference, and probably some of you were asking already, what is this hippie tree hugger doing here on stage? I want to talk serious business, so here's some numbers. We currently have around 20 million euros in revenue and around 10 million active users. That makes us one of the biggest websites already on the internet. Our Alexa rank is 480, which means we have more traffic than Zalando, for example, here in Berlin, which is pretty impressive. And also we're the biggest environmental website on the internet, which is pretty great. And we're doing that with a small team of only 35 people. That is not counting all the people who are working on our tree planting projects, of course. So things are going pretty well. We have a growth rate of about 50% since January 2009. But our most important metric, of course, is trees. And that's what we are doing this for. So in a way, we're a typical kind of hip startup. We have a fancy office in Berlin, Neukölln, with a ping pong table, free breakfast, and all that. So everything you need as a Berlin startup. But also, we're this. So we're the tree planting projects. So that's also a very, very important part of Ecosia. And as a CEO, I have the wonderful opportunity to travel between these two worlds. And I'm always very grateful when I go to our tree planting projects and see that a lot of people have very, very different problems than the problems that we have. So yeah, that makes me very grateful, and it's also very exciting. I put up this picture here, which shows me sitting on the back of a pickup truck at my last visit to Indonesia. And I put up this picture because 1 or 2 minutes after the picture was taken, the truck actually drove through a river and tilted over so that we all fell into the river. So which was a bit dangerous, but also very exciting. So being the CEO of a search engine that plants trees is really something very, very special. But we're trying to also influence our world or improve our world, not only by planting trees, but by also doing other things for society. Some of you might know this forest, which is the forest of Hambach, which is one of the oldest forests actually in Germany. And unfortunately, it's located right next to one of Europe's biggest open-cast coal mines. And the energy company that is running the coal mine wants to expand its production and cut down the forest. So we, at the company, we thought about what we can do to actually make sure that this forest stays standing, and also the lignite, so the coal stays into the ground. And we had a few beers together and thought what we could do. And at some point somebody said, hey, we could just buy the forest. And we all thought, well, that's ridiculous. Let's do it. So a few days later, we actually made an offer to buy this forest from the energy company RWE for 1 million euros. Unfortunately, they didn't accept our offer. But still, the press talked about it. Basically, all German medium covered it within hours, and also a lot of international media reported about the topic, which further increased the pressure on the energy company and really started the public discussion if they should be allowed to cut down the forest or not. So we're trying to have an impact there as well to make sure that our energy transitions happens quicker and that also our old forests all around the world stay standing. What we're also trying to do is to basically reinvent capitalism. Not a small challenge, but we try our best. We tried our best ourselves. Last year, we turned Ecosia into one of the first purpose companies. What is a purpose company? That's a company, normal for-profit limited liability company that what we've done, we gave away 1% of our company to a foundation, and this foundation now has veto rights if we ever want to sell the company, if we ever want to take profits out of the company, if we ever want to change the purpose of the company, or if there should ever be shareholders who are, or people who want to become shareholders without working inside the company. So we basically turned Ecosia into a self-owned, non-profit, for-profit company. Unfortunately, there's no better description for that at the moment. But I think it's really a very, very good model for different kinds of purpose-driven companies. So that again got us a lot of media attention, made it to the cover of Berlin Valley, for example, which is great for Ecosia, but more importantly, I think it actually sparked a lot of discussion also among founders, I feel. I get approached basically every week by people who want to turn their company into one of these purpose companies and basically give it away to society, which I think is really great because in my opinion, we have a lot of problems that are currently caused by our capitalistic turbo-capitalism system, and I think there needs to be something like a counterweight. Yes, so in general, I'd say everything is going really, really well at Ecosia, but I'm still not really happy because of this image. Does anybody know what that is, what that could symbolize? Let's see, just shout it if you know what it could be. Say again? No? Light spectrum? No, this is, maybe this chart is a bit better. This was the temperature development over the last 130 years, more or less, and things are not looking very good. We're currently on track to really ruin our world completely and make it basically uninhabitable by the end of the century. And I know that by now a lot of people are talking about climate change, but we're still not taking this topic very, very seriously. And that's what I'm here. I hope that some of you maybe I mean, you're a lot of influential people, you have the capacity to do things. I hope that some of you really look closely at this topic and see what you can do to actually help to make sure that by the end of the century our planet is still inhabitable for our children. So we're not here for investments, we're not here for an exit, but I'm here for help. So if you would maybe start or fund a green company, I would really be happy. Thank you very much.
Thank you.